Yet another source of pollution is chlorofluorocarbons. You know, chlorofluorocarbons are produced from perfumes, ACs and refrigerators. So, chlorofluorocarbons. These chlorofluorocarbons are playing havoc with our ozone layer. Then there are greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxides and also the methane. They are creating greenhouse effect. So, we will go into the details one by one. Smoke causes respiratory disorders like cough, bronchitis and asthma. Cough, bronchitis and asthma. It can also cause irritability and watering of eyes. Second problem is when smoke which has unburnt carbon particles plus acidic oxides, when it combines with fog. What is fog? Water droplets in air. What is formed is smog. This is especially common in winters and this reduces visibility. You must have seen that in winters sometimes we are not able to see through. The fog is so thick and actually it is not fog, it is smog. Fog is when water drops condense in the atmosphere, but because there is smoke in the atmosphere, so and they are carbon particles also, so as a result it becomes invisible. There is reduced visibility which can cause accidents. Then another thing is that there are chlorofluorocarbons. These chlorofluorocarbons which are called CFCs, they reduce ozone. O3 is ozone. You know, ozone is a very poisonous gas. Imagine what one atom of oxygen has done. O2, oxygen molecule, is so useful, but the moment there is one more oxygen atom and it becomes O3, it is ozone, it becomes ozone. When an oxygen molecule combines with an oxygen atom, we get ozone, and this ozone is poisonous. So, thank God it is at a great height, but then it also has a use because it kind of filters the UV rays, the ultraviolet rays, which are very harmful. They are like an umbrella. That is why we say there is the ozone umbrella, and that is depleting. Depletion means reduction, or sometimes we say there is a hole in the ozone umbrella. Why that happens? Because of chlorofluorocarbons. So, there is depletion of ozone layer, which filters UV rays. Alright. Now, UV rays, if they are not filtered, they can enter the earth's atmosphere and they can even penetrate our body and cause us skin cancer. So, you understand what is the ultimate effect of chlorofluorocarbons? They can be an indirect cause of skin cancer. Then comes the greenhouse gases. The greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide and it is methane. Now, carbon dioxide has a property that it can trap heat. You know, when the heat of sun enters the atmosphere, it is reflected back. Some of it is reflected back, but the carbon dioxide molecules do not let them go back, and this results increase in the temperature of the earth, and which is called global warming. And the effect of global warming is called greenhouse effect. Now, what is a greenhouse? the plants that need warmth are kept in glass house, and that is called a greenhouse, because there the heat gets trapped in the glass house. Same is the effect of greenhouse gases, that is methane and carbon dioxide. So, due to global warming, now what has happened is that glaciers are melting and the sea levels are rising, and this will cause loss of land, and also warmth has its own problems. So, this is also one of the effects of the air pollution. Next is acid rain. Now, on one hand we say the purest form of water is through rain, and on the other hand I am talking about acid rain. What am I talking? You know, due to air pollution there is an increased level of acidic oxides in air, like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and this when combines with water it forms various acids like carbonic acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, etc. You know, acids are so corrosive. So, when acid falls like rain, it can be very harmful for living beings, and it can even corrode and spoil the monuments. We know the case of Taj Mahal. We are losing our Taj Mahal, the wonder of the world, to pollution. So, these are some of the harmful effects of the air pollution. Imagine so many things, ozone depleting, and then global warming, and then acid rain. And if you see the plants that grow on the highway, they are not as healthy and as pleasant like the plants growing, say, in a village or in a forest. So much so, in metros, the traffic cops who stand on the highway which is full of traffic, they have to use their filters. They have to use screens to cover their nose, because otherwise all that polluted air can go inside and cause so many diseases. Now, in the case of workers who work in the cement factories, those cement particles, they are in air, they get into the respiratory tract and they can cause a disease called silicosis. The weavers of the carpets, the small little woolen fibers, they get inhaled and they cause other kind of diseases. So, imagine the kind of wrath that air pollution can create. If we take the typical case of Taj Mahal was made up of white marble and it looks so beautiful, such a beautiful architecture. But in addition to architecture, the beauty lied in the whiteness of marble. But now what has happened? It has turned yellow. Why? Because of Mathura refinery. In this refinery, so many poisonous gases are produced, so much of soot is produced, and that is getting deposited, and slowly it is losing its luster, it is losing its beauty. Do we want to lose our Taj Mahal? Certainly not. We do not want to lose our Taj Mahal. So, what can be done? We can't stop using automobiles or aeroplanes. So, what is to be done? Of course, I told you there are 4 R's. We can reduce, recycle, reuse and recover. And also we can take certain steps so that less smoke is produced. For example, these days we have cleaner fuels like biogas, CNG, LPG. These gases produce much less smoke as compared to cow dung cakes, coal or wood. So, that can be one way that can be used to reduce air pollution. Secondly, these days in case of petrol also, which type of petrol is preferred, or actually which is legal? Unleaded petrol. CNG is also being used for in the automobiles. So, in this case also the lead part was one part which was very harmful for the human life and other living beings. So, if we use unleaded petrol, naturally there will be no emission of lead. Then there should be regular pollution check. Nowadays, it is compulsory by law that every vehicle must get its pollution check so that it does not emit harmful gases in the atmosphere. Another way can be that the factories should not only be away from the town, but the factories should have tall chimneys so that harmful air or the harmful gases are not in the immediate vicinity of living beings. It is much above. So, tall chimney is another way, and having industries away from the town is also one method. The most important thing is that population has to be controlled. Everything is related to population explosion. And secondly, to deforestation. We are cutting trees, okay, we need space, we need wood, but then at least we can replant. There have to be certain amount of greenery around every city, and these are called city lungs. Why? Because it is the plants which give out oxygen during photosynthesis. So, they are like lungs. Just as we need lungs for breathing, we also need greenery in cities so that there is constant recycling and the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide is well maintained. You see, carbon monoxide, another type of oxide, is so harmful because it also combines with hemoglobin just like oxygen. So, actually it has more attraction. So, all the oxygen gets attached to carbon monoxide, and as a result the supply of oxygen in the body is reduced and we get choked and suffocated. So, no burning of any kind of cigarette or any kind of coal inside a room. These are some small precautions we can take. Then another source of pollution, air pollution, is thermal plants. So, whenever there is any industry or there is a thermal plant, they must follow the rules of pollution check. The industries must follow all the requirements so that excessive of pollutants are not added to the atmosphere. Even the nuclear plants can pollute air. So, but if we are able to take precautions, then these things will not happen. Now, Bhopal gas tragedy happened in 1984. Why? Because the carbide plant owners had not taken the right precautions, and the effect was that people were damaged and they have diseases right up till now after 26 years also. Similarly, the nuclear weapons, their use should be reduced. During Second World War, when Hiroshima and Nagasaki was bombarded, so many people got killed. That is one story. Not only many they were killed, many who survived, they had loss of parts, they even had genetic disorders, and for generations together mankind has suffered.